Jessica Sanford is an actor, performing arts educator, and an all-around supporter of the arts. Recently returning from a few years living in New York City, Jessica makes her home in sunny South Florida. Some previous credits include A Chorus Line, Doubt, Sister Act, Spring Awakening, and The West Side Story. Jessica has also self-produced 7 cabarets in the West Village in NYC, including her one-person cabaret, Please Note, a musical guide to adulting.
Upward and Onward presents our Meeting at the Crossroads music series. Upward and Onward presents our Meeting at the Crossroads, and just want to thank you for allowing to be a part of this platform. I know that everybody's schedule is so crazy and so busy, and so I just want to thank you for giving us a little bit of your time. And we're not going to try to take up too much, but we kind of want to go into the life of, Jessica Sanford, just to see what's been going on with you, during the pandemic, or what's been going on during your life, what was happening beforehand and what's happening now, how you've had to adjust and adapt, and all those things are questions that we'll probably ask. But I'll start off with, just because other people don't know, where are you now?
Right now I'm in South Florida, so I'm just west of Fort Lauderdale.
Now, is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where I grew up.
And would you say that's kind of where your whole life started with performing or whatnot?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of grew up listening to my sister sing in church and stuff. So, this is when, oh my gosh, this is going to reveal my age. This is when we had, tapes, and, I would be in charge of pressing play and stop.
Exactly.
You don't understand what was just a joke got out of hand. I kept on screaming till she hit the floor.
Everybody was doing it.
Got carried, I said everything I could. This one small act of kindness, I changed theirs.
Yeah, so I went to church down here. I just grew up down here singing in wherever I could find choir, church.
You've always had a very a clean and powerful sound. I even remember when we met at the Broadway Theater Project. I think you even in a number with me. Was it Sunday in the Park with George?
Yes. Oh man, to this day, I'm like, where's that arrangement? Nothing has given me goosebumps in the way that it still rings in my ears.
Me and
video?
Will Lewis was the accompanist and assistant musical director on that, along with myself. And we took it. It came from the original Sunday in the Park with George, also attached to Billy Porter's version that he did at, I think it was Joe's Pub that he did that recording at, as well as some Kirk Franklin influence. And then obviously getting adjusted with what the singers were doing at that time and that were in the piece. And so where would that arrangement be? I would say if anybody still had it, it would be Will Lewis. So I have to reach out to him one day, but I know that it should be in the BTP archive somewhere.
Or make it sour and serve with lemon wedges. Even doubt can be delicious, and it washes off of all dirty dishes. When it's done, I can smile. It's on someone else's plate for a while.
So you would say, Florida is where you pretty much started your career. And would you say you're more of a musical theater artist, or more of a cabaret artist, or more of, I don't know, enlighten me. So I don't keep naming.
Yeah, no, it's funny because I was thinking about what questions you were going to ask me so I could kind of prepare.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I grew up watching old movies, Turner Classics. So Judy Garland has always brought me home, And then I loved Sarah Bareilles. And then I learned later that I could go to school for musical theater. So I don't know. I think I'm somewhere of a mixture of if I could do this for my career and have fun.
Of course.
Yes, but I'd like to produce cabarets on the side.
No, and
Barrel assing through the gullies, pitching camps and chewing jerky, showing off sorry scratches and favorite scars. Teaching me to hold my bourbon, coaxing me to play my fiddle, thinking up songs, singing them to the stars.
Speak on that a little bit, if you don't mind, with the
Yeah.
you say you've been producing Cabaret. So let's give them the name of it, tell them what it is, and then let's talk a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, well, that came about because I was not booking anything in New York. And I was just like, I need to sing or I'm going to explode. And like sing in a way that's not, 16 bars at an audition, sing like where I can live and breathe and relax. And I mentioned that to so many of my friends, and they were like, well, if you can find a place. And then my brain started to, go like, what does it cost to do this? And then I found these cabarets where this was my first time in New York, and I learned that there are some cabarets where you have to pay to sing. I learned that afterwards. And I think that's why I started doing it myself, because I'm like, I'm not going to have my friends pay to sing. Exactly. You know what? We're going to charge what we have to, and hopefully we'll get a good audience, and it'll cover the room, it'll cover the piano, and that's it. And it ended up being so good that we did 7 shows at the duplex in the West Village. Yeah. And we broke even or made a profit, a small profit. I mean, like $45 to cover my
you at least able
prizes.
to kind of tip or kind of grease the palms of a few people that help you get into those places there. So.
And think a thought that isn't wrapped up in his. The place that I consider paradise is wherever he hates. Wherever he hates. No more to wither when he's grouchy and gruff. No more to listen to him bellow and bluff. Tomorrow morning I'll be shredding my stuff wherever he hates. Wherever he hates. Enough of being bullied and bossed. Ta-ta, auf Wiedersehen and get lost. I walked behind him like a meek little lamb and had my fill of his not giving a damn. I'll go to Sydney or St. Lawrence, Siam, wherever he hates. Wherever he hates. My little love nest was a terrible choice, with me behaving like a simpering sap. So now I'm looking for a spot on a map. If he's going south, I'm going north. If he's going back, I'm going forth. Wherever he is.
How long were you in New York?
I was in New York about 3.5 years or so.
And would that be the most recent 3.5 years?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I would always visit during the summer to audition and just see shows, but living there was 3 years. Yeah.
Gotcha. And basically, did the pandemic take you home, or did it just so happen that you had moved back to Florida and then the pandemic happened?
No, it had just so happened that I chose to move back, and then this whole thing happened.
Okay.
So, yeah, no.
At least yours was by choice. I kind of came here for a visit in Atlanta. I'm here at my mom's, and the pandemic happened, and it was like,
yeah. Well, now you can go back to New York and feel nice. Don't come to Florida.
I mean, I would go back to New York, and I wanted to move back at the time that I came here. I was in the process of trying to move there, but it's so weird. New York's not the same right now, and I don't feel that drive to be there until, and it maybe sounds selfish of me, but until it becomes more of that New York that I know. What are some of your inspirations? I mean, who inspired you to even start singing and performing? What are maybe your top 5? These are I know you said Julie Garland, you watch a lot of the Turner Classic stuff, and I do it too, and actually still watch it to kind of lull me to sleep. When it's time for me to go to bed, I'll turn it on and turn the volume down just a little bit, and I'll just drift off. But what are some of your inspirations? Give me like 5 of them if you don't mind.
5 of them. Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna definitely say Judy Garland because,
Okay.
it's Judy Garland.
Of course.
And then I found when I was writing my own music that I liked wordplay, and I think that's because I listened to a lot of Jason Mraz.
Okay.
And he's very wordy in the things that he writes. So we're gonna say Jason Mraz. We're gonna do Sarah Bareilles.
Okay.
In there. My goodness.
So we got Judy Garland, Jason Mraz, Sarah Bareilles.
Yeah, and then I don't even know. Like, I think of if I could turn music on like a Saturday morning making coffee in New York in an apartment by myself, I put on like Nat King Cole.
Oh,
you know?
Wow, yeah. Okay.
You know, something that is just like, if you close your eyes, you're in a different time, you know?
That's a velvet voice, man. It will take you there if you close your eyes. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I'm with that. What's your last one?
All right, last one. I'm going to throw a musical theater person in there.
Okay.
Her name is Stephanie J. Block.
Okay.
You know Stephanie Block? I mean, she was like old school Alphabet before Wicked was a thing.
I don't know. I need to do my research. I need to keep game. Yeah.
She's really great. I did a workshop with her, and I was like one of the older students there, so I was assisting and taking the workshop.
Okay.
And she did this master class at the end, and throughout the whole week or so, she would always say, like, make sure you're always warmed up and prepared to sing.
Yeah.
So the very last day, she was like, does anybody have any questions? And I was like, would you sing? And then she gave me this eye that was like, I said it the whole week that I should be ready to sing. Someone asked me, so I can't, that was her monologue.
Yeah.
And then she did, and she sang, oh my gosh, she sang Don't Rain on My Parade, and I mean, it was just so special.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You spoke a little bit earlier about one of your inspirations being Jason Mraz because you like the whole wordplay stuff. And I noticed that in a lot of your original songs that you've written that I've seen links of or different things like that, you've played on the ukulele.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been doing that? Because I can say that when I was researching your stuff in 2017, 2018 area for the cruise ship industry with the production company, I saw some of those videos then. That were surfacing. Yeah. So how long have you been doing that? And let us know about that world of yours.
Absolutely. So I, in college, my friend Stephanie was a great musician, and she picked up the ukulele. So every time we hung out, I found myself picking it up in her room and just like playing on it. And then I got it for myself, or no, my brother got it for me for Christmas one year. He got one for me, and ever since I've just, been plucking away at it.
Yeah.
Who needs food? I'm so broke. At least it keeps me skinnier. That's half a joke. I'm in need of someone who can feed me without wanting anything in return, because right now I can't really afford to give you anything. But a smile. I can give a really nice smile.
Is the ukulele your instrument, or do you play others?
I did play the piano for a while, and then I had stopped for a very long time. And actually, I'm starting lessons again on Monday to get back in the game.
Why not? There's nothing else going on except for a creative time that can be spent. So that's what I'm kind of learning, and that's why I started doing this video music series and kind of share this platform with people so we get a chance to meet each other, meet and greet, know each other. It's like, hey, people on my handles or social media handles or the company's handles can now, intermingle with people on yours and vice versa, and friends of friends and people that maybe wouldn't have known a Jessica now know you, or people that didn't know Upward and Onward now know Upward and Onward. So it kind of works as a bartering situation to kind of lift each other up. And just kind of let everybody know what's going on, because we're constantly doing things like this all the time, but no one ever gives a chance or give themselves time to actually listen or look, because they're so busy with life. Well, now everybody's on pause because of the pandemic, and they're forced to have to find things to do within the confines of their own home, or with not being able to be out as much. So now everybody's to their phones and their iPads and their computers or TVs or whatnot. And so things that they wouldn't in a normal day give themselves time to do, or didn't have time to do, they now can pay attention and look on YouTube and look up, oh, Jessica B. Sanford, oh, what's she doing? Oh, and so I think it's wonderful, and that's kind of why I brought this thing about. And so this was my pandemic idea, to bring this thing across and talk to some interesting people and hear about their interesting stories. So what is speaking of pandemic, and I've said it over and over a few times now, out of this pandemic, what have you learned about yourself, good or bad, that you can let us in on? Yeah, what have you learned about yourself?
Oh, a lot.
A lot, okay.
I've learned a lot. It's funny that the thing I've learned sounds like a good thing, but it can be a bad thing.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that I think I have very high standards for my life. Like, all of this free time is allowing me to think what kind of house I want, what it's going to look like. I want to play the piano. I want to have a teaching degree,
Yeah,
and then I'm like,
I get it.
I'm going to go do these things. And
Yeah.
then I realize I can't move.
Yeah.
I have to stay here, So it's like this push and pull of wanting to expand my life, but also having to find like some peace and stillness and honesty with where we are right now and what can I do at home.
Yeah, and with learning that about yourself, with those high standards or whatnot, what would you, if given the chance, tell the younger version of yourself to maybe warn them or enlighten them about the life that they have ahead?
I really wish that I could tell younger Jessica, she's not listening. She's like, yeah,
She's not
anyway.
listening.
That you plan, it's like a phrase, isn't it? You plan, God laughs, Life is not always going to follow the plan that you have for it. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong, or you didn't study hard enough, or you didn't whatever. It just is.
It just is.
And you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think that's been a new thing that I've been learning,
Yeah.
My life hasn't gone as I've planned, but beautiful other things have happened.
You're still young. I know you talk about, you're like, oh, I'm getting older, or this really shows my age because I was pressing the play on the tape. But I mean, you still look all of 21, and I mean, you haven't really changed a bit as far as like the youthfulness of you when I first met you years ago, 2008. I know they always say black don't crack, but it doesn't seem like things are cracking too quick on your end either. So I'm going to give you some of that skin loving. Yeah.
We'll create a mixture and we'll sell it.
There we go.
That'll be our income for the
There
pandemic.
we go. See, a pandemic product that we figured out another thing that we can put out there.
There we go. I think it's that a lot of musical theater programs were like putting out all of these like killer talented young people, and I went to New York like 26, 27, and they were coming in strong, so I already felt a little behind. So you had to play catch up. I know.
What did you do?
Everybody looks at me. Happiness is what they see. It is awfully nice to be on solid ground. He is charming, I confess, more than you, but I digress. Tell me, darling, can you guess just what I have found? I found a new baby.
I'm just putting it out there, my mouth to God's ears. I think that you're going to put something together that's going to be wonderful, that's going to wow the people, so people can hear your gift and your sounds. And you know, we have to just lift each other up. I mean, it's so many crazy things going on in the world right now, and so I just say, you know, united we stand, divided we fall. So I want us all to stand together and kind of be in this world peacefully as we can. I mean, with all the things that are going on, I think stuff like this, music and these different platforms and these kind of conversations, this make things a lot lighter as well as they're inspiring. Well, let's give the folks some of the social media handles that they can follow you on, like YouTube, Instagram, whatever it is that you Twitter, you know. So
yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm on the Instagram at Lady Sanford. It's been my tag forever, and I don't want to change it now.
I don't think you should. Yeah.
Lady Sanford. And then YouTube is the same thing, youtube.com/Lady Sanford.
Subscribe to your YouTube channel and watch some of the new things that you put on there, as well as follow you on Instagram and see what's what, you know.
And I always like to collaborate. So if anybody like watches a video and they're like, hey, if I record this on my end and I send this to you, are you down to record it? I'd be like, let's go.
Well, I'll raise my hand to that. Let's work it out. I would love to.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm all about it.
Well, Jessica, thank you so much for the time that you spent with us. It's such a pleasure. So it's such I say a great point of my day. It lifts my spirits, as well as I'm glad that we were able to kind of get you to come back around, because I know you were dealing with a lot with the pandemic and COVID numbers rising, and you living in Florida, and just a lot of things that are going on with the world and family, friends, you know, our community. But I want to thank you for spending this time with Onward Productions Presents, our meeting at the Crossroads with Lady Sanford. So
it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Besides being an actor and performer, I teach the performing arts to little ones, anywhere from like 5 years old, when we're working on imagination and building our confidence, all the way up to auditioning for college. So that specifically keeps me very creative and inspired. If you want to check out my Instagram, do it. My Instagram is @Lady Sanford. And if you want to check out some videos, go to my YouTube, youtube.com/Lady Sanford. Thank you so much, Upward and Onward, for having me. And to everyone out there in the midst of this crazy time, I hope that we can find some light in the midst of the darkness.
Well, on behalf of Upward and Onward Productions, we'd like to thank you for hanging out with us for the show, our meeting at the Crossroads music series. Now, your attention and time is much appreciated, and we look forward to seeing you next time for more performances and music. Remember, success is only an arm's length away. Stay safe, stay home if you can, and if you can't, keep practicing social distance with a healthy and cautious way of life. Upward and onward, folks.